Picture this for a second. You're walking through the woods and you stumble across a wild animal caught in a snare. It's totally panicked, it's terrified, just doing absolutely everything it can to break free. You slowly step closer, and your only intention is to help it, to set it free. As you reach out your hands to cut the wire, the animal suddenly stops struggling. It locks eyes with you. And in that fleeting, perfectly silent moment, we are faced with a truly profound mystery. Does that wild creature actually understand what you're trying to do? Or are you just a larger predator deciding whether to attack? Well, in today's Explainer, we're going to dive deep into this unseen silent language between humans and the natural world. Okay, let's dive into this central question. Do animals know when humans are helping them? It's a huge question, right? It invites us to really ponder this invisible boundary. On one side, you have us, human intervention, our conscious choice to step in and offer aid. On the other side, you have animal perception. When we extend a helping hand, how on earth is that processed in the mind of a creature that doesn't share our language or social norms? We're going to look at the hard science here, expert research, and some honestly incredible rescue stories across the animal kingdom. We're talking wolves, primates, crows, dolphins, and elephants. Is the concept of help something that transcends species, or are we just, projecting our own human emotions onto an animal that's literally just calculating its odds of survival? This is going to force us to reconsider basically everything we assume about awareness in nature. Section 1, Instinct versus Gratitude. Let's unpack these two massive ideas. First up, let's look at the biological side of things, the instinct. I really want you to think about the raw, mechanical power of survival-driven behavior. Instinct isn't something an animal goes to school to learn, right? It's a hardwired genetic code. It's that immediate, unthinking reaction that tells a bird to fly south or makes a deer completely freeze when a twig snaps. It is pure survival mechanics. Let's look at the animal science for a second. For a wild prey animal, or even an apex predator like a wolf, evolutionary biology says a human equals danger. We are an unknown, upright predator to them. So if a wolf is caught in a trap and you approach, instinct dictates pure, unadulterated fear. It's the classic fight-or-flight response. The amygdala fires up, adrenaline spikes, and that animal is solely focused on getting away. It's a defense mechanism built over millions of years just to keep that creature alive against all odds. In that state, instinct just doesn't leave any room for complex social analysis. It's not pausing to read your facial expressions or gauge your gentle tone of voice. It simply reacts. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how the second half of our source phrase totally flips the script of gratitude. Suddenly, we're dealing with an emotional counterweight. Gratitude is definitely not a raw survival mechanic. At least in our human understanding, gratitude is a highly complex emotion. It requires remembering a past state, like being trapped or in pain, recognizing a current, much better state, and crucially, knowing that an external being is responsible for that positive change. So when we project this onto an animal, it just injects this incredible sense of wonder. Can a wild animal actually feel thankful? Take humpback whales, for example. There are famous stories of them getting entangled in heavy fishing nets. When marine rescue teams spend hours cutting them free, there are documented instances where these massive, beautiful creatures just linger. They swim gently right up to the divers, make specific eye contact, and then swim away. Some of those divers swear up and down it was unequivocally a thank you. Or think about crows. There are so many accounts of crows bringing shiny objects like coins or glass to humans who have fed or helped them. Is that gratitude? A transaction? Just conditioning? It really begs the question, can a creature governed by instinct experience something so remarkably nuanced? And this brilliantly illustrates the massive philosophical and scientific tension we're grappling with here. We've got instinct, those raw survival-driven mechanics, going head-to-head with gratitude, this complex human-associated emotion. How can these opposing forces possibly coexist in an animal's mind in a single moment? Let's contrast some specific examples. Take a wild primate. If it's injured and a human approaches, its instinct is sheer panic. Yet, we've all seen those incredible videos of chimps or gorillas that were treated by human veterinarians. They display what looks undeniably like deep emotional bonds, literally embracing their caregivers years later. Then look at elephants. They have an extraordinary memory capacity, and there are jaw-dropping stories of elephants recognizing the human conservationist who rescued them decades ago. They greet them with joyous rumbling, ear flapping, the whole shebang. And of course, dogs. They've evolved alongside us to read our microexpressions and form super complex emotional attachments. So if an animal's brain is absolutely screaming at it to flee from a human, how does it simultaneously process the emotional depth of gratitude? Are we just misinterpreting a pause and a panic response? Or is there actually a deeper, universal emotional language that overrides those primal mechanics when presented with an act of pure kindness? Let's move to section 2 and see how this all builds. Do they truly know? So, this brings us back to the complete source phrase we're analyzing today, the instinct of gratitude. By bringing these words back together, you really see how this singular concept captures the entire debate. Notice the author doesn't say the emotion of gratitude or the thought of it. They call it an instinct. And that suggests a really profound, mind-bending idea. What if feeling thankful isn't just an exclusive higher-order human emotion at all? Let's look at how expert research views this. Evolutionary biology is actually increasingly showing us that social bonds, even cross-species ones like between humans and dogs or humans and dolphins, are profound survival mechanisms. Recognizing a helper, remembering an act of kindness, and forming an alliance based on that interaction, that can actually be incredibly advantageous for survival in the wild. What if recognizing help and feeling a bond with that helper is just as hardwired, just as primal, and just as natural as the urge to run away? It implies that the capacity to connect and appreciate is woven right into the biological fabric of life itself. The science of animal intelligence tells us animals are way more emotionally complex than we used to give them credit for. So maybe, just maybe, gratitude isn't a human invention, but an evolutionary tool shared across the entire animal kingdom. Which brings us right back to where we started. When that trap opens, when the snare finally falls away, and the animal pauses before running back into the wild, do they know? We've journeyed through the instinctual fight-or-flight response of the wolf, the surprising reciprocity of the crow, the gentle lingering of the rescued humpback whale, and the deep, decades-long memory of the elephant. Are their reactions to human kindness based merely on the sudden absence of pain and a primal instinct to survive, or is there a silent, ancient comprehension taking place in that exact moment? As you go about your day and observe the natural world around you, I really want you to carry this mystery with you. Think about that invisible boundary. Do they truly understand our intentions? The answer to that? Well, it might just change the way you look at every living creature.